The prisoner was suddenly horrified to find that the cellmate seemed to have become a cold corpse. He was about to call the prison guards, but was immediately and strongly blocked by his companions. The others also chose to remain silent. He could only continue to eat in another place, away from the corpse. Unexpectedly, just then, a prisoner suddenly came looking for trouble. Seeing this, Barbie rushed forward to stop him. He didn't expect the other party to back off. Instead, he took the initiative to provoke. Just as the two were about to start fighting, a loud gunshot instantly brought them back to reality. It turned out that the break was over. All prisoners lined up, ready to return. But the team didn't get very far. They encountered another trapped pimp. "You know better than to truck your ladies through here after a rainstorm, yeah?" the pimp said. "Can you help me out? I'm making good for you." Of course, the captain wouldn't miss such an opportunity. He decided to help, and Barbie never expected that the pimp would end up sitting in their car. Barbie realized that an opportunity had presented itself. He started talking actively to the pimp. To his surprise, the pimp made it clear that his boat would stay on the island for 3 days. Barbie planned to pay to let the boat ride itself away. Mei Xiang, however, was a pimp who not only refused, but also threatened to tell the gods. Barbie was terrified and quickly raised the price. That's how he managed to avoid being reported. But the pimp had a big mouth. After some haggling, the two parties ultimately reached a cooperation agreement at a fair price. The pimp's schedule indicated a 3-day stay, after which he would leave immediately. After returning to the prison, the prisoners were arranged to dispose of the body. Halfway through, however, Glasses suddenly discovered in horror that bright red blood was spilling from the sack. It was the first time Glasses had seen such a bloody scene. Despite Barbie's constant persuasion, Glasses was stiff with fear. He eventually slumped down and couldn't go any further. The guard behind them was not happy. He reprimanded Glasses, who sat frozen on the ground. Feeling provoked, the guard pulled a small leather whip from his waist and lashed out at Glasses. Seeing his companion's painful expression, Barbie gritted his teeth and made a desperate decision. He picked up a stone from the ground and hit the guard hard on the head. Awake, Barbie realized he was in big trouble. He didn't care and quickly fled into the depths of the forest. Not long after, guards rushed over, chasing in Barbie's direction. Only Glasses, confused and helpless, remained, calling out Barbie's name. What responded to him was a steady stream of gunshots. Meanwhile, Barbie didn't dare to stop running. He fled to the edge of a stream and jumped in without hesitation. The guards came after him, shooting wildly. The bullets missed almost every time, allowing Barbie to walk safely down the river and gradually disappear from the guard's sight. He fled into the night and eventually found the pimp. Barbie suppressed his excitement and hurriedly asked for help. However, the pimp wasn't impressed and demanded payment before sailing. Barbie was dumbfounded. He hadn't brought any money with him. Standing just one step away from success, Barbie refused to give up. He said pitifully, "I have a lot of money in Barry. As long as you help me escape, I will compensate you handsomely." The pimp seemed to consider it and nodded in agreement. Just as Barbie was about to board the boat, they heard the sound of bullets being loaded. A couple of big men with guns were pointing at them. Barbie froze in place. The next morning, Barbie was brought back to the prison by 2 guards, his limbs shackled. The heavy chains severely hindered his movement. Even so, the warden didn't plan to let him go easily. According to the rules, the first escape attempt meant 2.5 years in solitary confinement. A second escape would add 5 years. Surviving all this would lead to transfer to Alcatraz, where the vast majority of prisoners never left alive. The solitary confinement cell was a harsh environment. It was not only lonely, but also offered only 1 meal a day, and the food was spoiled. To survive, Barbie had to resist the urge to vomit as he swallowed the foul soup. Despite the bleak conditions, Barbie forcibly endured for half a month. One day, the cell door suddenly opened. The captain Barbie had attacked swaggered in. Barbie knew the captain was here for revenge. However, instead of showing fear, Barbie chose to provoke him. As expected, he successfully angered the captain, who used Barbie as a punching bag, mercilessly beating him. After the beating, Barbie was left frail and on the verge of starvation. He thought he would slowly waste away and die. But then, unexpectedly, one day a rice bucket was delivered with half a coconut inside. Confused, Barbie noticed a small note tucked beneath the lid. It contained 3 short lines of small print, but they filled him with a surge of hope. He realized someone outside the prison cared for him enough to bribe the food delivery person. That small act of kindness rekindled Barbie's will to live. He resolved not only to survive the solitary confinement, but also to escape with glasses. Over the following days, Barbie began exercising in his cell to rebuild his strength. Slowly, his physical condition improved. Just as things seemed to be moving in the right direction, disaster struck. When food was delivered, it was intercepted and inspected by the prison guards. A sudden scream from outside chilled Barbie's blood. The food delivery person had been caught and killed. Moments later, scarlet blood seeped under the crack of the door. Barbie's rations were cut in half as punishment, pushing him closer to the brink of starvation. Each passing day drained his strength further. One day, the warden visited, carrying a bowl of steaming broth. The warden offered it to Barbie in exchange for revealing who had sent the coconut. Even in his weakened state, Barbie refused. Instead, he insulted the warden, whose face turned purple with rage. In retaliation, the warden ordered the cell's sunroof to be sealed, plunging Barbie into total darkness. The triple torment of hunger, isolation, and darkness pressed down on Barbie like a crushing weight. At times, he contemplated ending his own life. Yet, somehow, he endured. After 2.5 years, Barbie was finally released from solitary confinement. He was a shadow of his former self, requiring 2 guards to help him walk. His spirit, however, remained unbroken. Meanwhile, Glasses had risen to some prominence in the prison, even gaining access to the infirmary where Barbie was recovering. When Glasses visited, he was shocked to see Barbie's vacant, godless eyes. No matter how much Glasses pleaded, Barbie remained unresponsive. As Glasses was about to leave, Barbie suddenly snapped back to life. He declared his determination to escape once more. Glasses revealed that in 3 days, the warden would host a fireworks party for visiting politicians, a perfect distraction for an escape. Barbie agreed instantly. That night, after the guards left, Barbie shared his plan with Thin Black Hair, another prisoner. He promised to help Thin Black Hair escape if he delayed the guards. Eager to leave the prison, Thin Black Hair agreed. The following day, Glasses brought in a third ally, a prisoner nicknamed Beard, who claimed he could secure a boat. With this, a 4-person escape team was formed. When the night of the party arrived, the prison was bustling with activity. The prisoners executed their plan carefully. Glasses distracted the guards by tampering with a bottle of wine, while Thin Black Hair pretended to comply with the advances of an overseer, only to knock him out when the moment was right. Barbie and the others moved swiftly, taking advantage of the rainstorm and a power outage to avoid detection. They scaled the prison wall, but just as Glasses prepared to jump, the power was restored. Panicking, Glasses leaped and broke his leg. Despite the setback, the group pressed on. Despite Glasses' broken leg, the group managed to reach their boat. It was old and leaky, but it was their only hope as they set out to sea. They worked tirelessly to keep the water from sinking the vessel. Exhausted but determined, they pressed on. Their troubles worsened when they encountered a fierce storm. The already fragile boat began to fall apart. Beard, desperate to survive, suggested abandoning Glasses due to his injury. Barbie vehemently refused, and a fight broke out between them. Beard, being stronger, overpowered Barbie. However, at the last moment, Glasses intervened, surprising Beard and allowing Barbie to gain the upper hand. In the end, they threw Beard's unconscious body overboard. Finally, Barbie passed out from exhaustion. When he woke up, he found himself on the shore of an unfamiliar island. To his relief, Thin Black Hair and Glasses had also survived. As Barbie surveyed the island, he realized it was inhabited by an ancient tribe. The leader of the tribe, to his surprise, was an old nun who had retired to this remote place. She and her people nursed the group back to health. Bobby was deeply grateful but knew he couldn't stay. He began scouting the island for a way to escape and return home. One day, while exploring, Bobby saw a car approaching. Terrified that it might be guards searching for them, he rushed back to warn his companions. However, it was too late. Thin black hair was shot dead on the spot, and Bobby and Glasses were recaptured. Bobby learned that the guards had been tipped off by the daughter of the nun, who had recognized him. This time, the punishment for escape was 5 years in solitary confinement. Bobby was transferred to a dreaded high-security facility. When Bobby arrived, he was shocked to find that Glasses was also there. Despite the grim environment, Glasses had adapted to life on the island, even becoming a trusted inmate who worked closely with the guards. Bobby, however, could not reconcile himself to a life of imprisonment. It was even harsher than solitary confinement. Prisoners often took their own lives to escape the unbearable conditions. Bobby, however, was determined to keep his spirit alive. Every day, he stared out at the vast sea, searching for a way to escape. The towering cliffs surrounding the island made the prospect of escape seem impossible, but Bobby's resolve remained unshaken. Finally, Bobby devised a desperate plan. He and Glasses began secretly collecting empty coconut shells. Over time, they managed to fill several sacks, creating makeshift flotation devices. On a stormy night, Bobby was ready to make his escape. However, Glasses chose to stay behind, having grown accustomed to the life he had built on the island. The two shared an emotional farewell. Bobby knew this was the last time he would see his friend. With a heavy heart, he threw the sack of coconuts into the sea and jumped after it. The waves were fierce, and the cliffs loomed high above him. Yet despite the odds, Bobby paddled tirelessly, driven by the hope of freedom. Miraculously, Bobby survived. The coconut sack helped keep him afloat until he reached the mainland. He was battered and exhausted but alive. For the first time in years, he was free. The story is based on the life of Henri Charrière, a prisoner who escaped. After his daring escape, he lived quietly until 1969, when he returned to France. He published an autobiography detailing his experiences, which became a bestseller and brought attention to the harsh realities of prison life.